Have you ever wondered about the meaning behind the name Jehovah El Shaddai? A name so profound it echoes through ancient texts and whispers into the hearts of believers even today. Let's take a moment to unwrap this enigma, this divine title that has inspired generations. Jehovah El Shaddai, a name that reverberates with power and devotion. It's a name that we encounter in religious texts, a name that carries with it a rich tapestry of meaning and significance. It's not just a name, but a divine title, a covenant, a promise. When we say Jehovah, we are speaking of the eternal, the everlasting, the one who was, who is, and who will always be. It's a name that bespeaks the essence of existence, the very fabric of reality. It is the name of the God who is beyond time, beyond space, beyond our comprehension. And then we have El Shaddai. This part of the name brings to light another aspect of this divine being. El, meaning God, and Shaddai, often translated as Almighty, but there's more to it. Shaddai is derived from the Hebrew word shad, which means breast, symbolizing nourishment, supply, and sufficiency. So when we speak of Jehovah El Shaddai, we are talking about the God who is not only eternal but also sufficient, the God who nourishes us, who provides for us, and who is more than enough for us. And this is where the promise comes into play. You see, Jehovah El Shaddai is a covenant God. He makes promises between himself and his people. These promises are not based on our ability to be faithful to him, but on his faithfulness to us. He is a promise keeper, a God who will never break his word, a God who will always be there for us, no matter what. So let's take a journey together, a journey into the heart of this divine name. Let's delve deeper into the promises of Jehovah El Shaddai. This journey will reveal to us the depth of his love, his faithfulness, and his commitment to us. It's a journey of discovery, of understanding, and of faith. Now let's delve deeper into the promises of Jehovah El Shaddai. What makes Jehovah El Shaddai stand out among many other names of God is his deep-rooted promises. These promises are not just words spoken into the wind, but solemn commitments, grounded in his very nature. Jehovah El Shaddai, often translated as God Almighty, is a covenant God. This means that he establishes deep, enduring relationships with his people, relationships that are fortified by the promises he makes. These promises come in various forms, each bearing significance for his followers. For instance, he promises to provide, to protect, to guide, and to bless. He promises to be there in times of joy and in times of sorrow. He promises peace in the midst of turmoil, strength in times of weakness, and comfort in times of distress. Regardless of the promise, what remains consistent is his unwavering commitment to fulfill them. But Jehovah El Shaddai's promises are not based on the faithfulness of his people. Instead, they hinge on his own faithfulness. This is a crucial aspect to understand. It means that even when we falter, when we fall short of our promises to him, he remains steadfast. His promises are not contingent on our ability to keep our end of the bargain, but on his unwavering commitment to us. This is what sets Jehovah El Shaddai apart. His promises are not like human promises, which are often broken or forgotten. His promises are not empty words, but manifestations of his love, his grace, and his sovereignty. They are firm, unshakable, and eternal. In the lives of believers, these promises provide hope and reassurance. They serve as anchors, keeping us grounded amidst life's storms. They remind us that we are not alone, that we are loved, and that we have a God who is committed to us, a God who is always faithful, a God who keeps his promises. But how does Jehovah El Shaddai ensure the fulfillment of these promises? Jehovah El Shaddai's promises are not based on our faithfulness to him, but on his faithfulness to us. This statement brings us to a profound understanding. It's not about our ability to be faithful, but rather his unwavering faithfulness to us. It's a concept that resonates throughout the core of religious understanding. So, what does it mean when we say Jehovah El Shaddai is faithful? Imagine a friend who never breaks a promise, who stands by you through thick and thin, who never fails to keep their word. That's a glimpse of what Jehovah El Shaddai's faithfulness is like. But it's more intense, more consistent, and everlasting. It's a faithfulness that is pure, unchanging, and infinite. Jehovah El Shaddai, in his faithfulness, is a promise keeper. Every covenant he made, every promise he uttered, he has fulfilled or will fulfill. Consider the biblical accounts where time and time again, his promises came to fruition. The promise to Noah, to Abraham, to Moses, and countless others. These were not just mere words. They were divine guarantees, backed by the unwavering faithfulness of Jehovah El Shaddai. His faithfulness is not contingent on our actions or our worthiness. It is a part of his divine nature, inherent and unchanging. Even when we falter, when we stray, his faithfulness remains constant. It's a beacon of hope, a source of comfort, and a testament to his unconditional love for us. The faithfulness of Jehovah El Shaddai is not a relic of the past. It is not confined to the pages of ancient scriptures. It is alive and present in our lives today. It is seen in the fulfillment of his promises, in the miracles that occur around us, and in the hope that springs forth even in the direst of circumstances. So, what does the faithfulness of Jehovah El Shaddai mean for us today? It means assurance, security, and hope. It means that no matter what we face, we are not alone. We have a God who is faithful, who keeps his promises, and who walks with us through every high and low. So what does the faithfulness of Jehovah El Shaddai mean for you today? In a world filled with broken promises, Jehovah El Shaddai remains a beacon of hope and faithfulness. As we navigate the complexities and uncertainties of our modern times, the faithfulness of Jehovah El Shaddai shines brighter than ever. Let's pause for a moment and consider the relevance of his faithfulness in our lives today. Amidst the noise and distractions of our fast-paced world, we often find ourselves seeking something steadfast, something unchanging to hold on to. That's where Jehovah El Shaddai comes in. His promises are not just ancient declarations, but are relevant lifelines for us today. Take, for instance, his promise of provision. In a world where economic uncertainties loom large, Jehovah El Shaddai assures us that he is our provider, our El Shaddai, the God who is more than enough. He is not a God of scarcity, but a God of abundance, and his faithfulness ensures that his provision is not a one-time event, but a continuous flow. Then there's his promise of peace. In a world riddled with conflict and strife, Jehovah El Shaddai offers a peace that surpasses all understanding. This isn't a peace that simply implies the absence of trouble, but a deep-seated tranquility that anchors us amidst life's storms, a direct result of his unwavering faithfulness. And let's not forget his promise of presence. In a world where loneliness is an epidemic, Jehovah El Shaddai's promise to never leave nor forsake us is a soothing balm. His faithfulness guarantees his constant companionship, a comforting truth that we can cling to in moments of solitude. These examples only scratch the surface of how Jehovah El Shaddai's faithfulness impacts our lives in practical ways. His promises are not just words, but powerful truths that can transform our perspective, our choices, and ultimately, our lives. Remember, Jehovah El Shaddai is not just a name, it's a promise of faithfulness that reverberates through the ages. So, as we journey through our modern world, let's hold fast to the faithfulness of Jehovah El Shaddai, our covenant God, our promise keeper. As we wrap up, it's clear that Jehovah El Shaddai's name carries a powerful message of hope and faithfulness. This is a deity who weaves a covenant, a promise between himself and his people. His promises are not based on our ability to be faithful to him, but rather on his unwavering faithfulness to us. He is a promise keeper, a beacon of hope in a world often shrouded in uncertainty. Throughout this video, we've delved into the promises of Jehovah El Shaddai, explored his steadfast faithfulness, and examined his continued relevance in today's world. We've seen that his name stands as a testament to his character, a God of provision, protection, and power. So, as we step into our everyday lives, let's carry with us the understanding of Jehovah El Shaddai's faithfulness, his promises, and his abiding presence. What does Jehovah El Shaddai's faithfulness mean to you? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Please comment below.